Welcome back to this special Halloween version of Chillporial. I am your host, Brian, the great Porial himself, and I am real. I am real for sure. I have faith. I'm steadfast in my belief in myself. But yeah, tonight we got Pops. I got Pops here. What's up, Pops? You there? I guess Pops is not there.
Sorry, I froze for a second there. I apologize for that. Yeah, sorry about that. I froze for a second. Hey there, I'm sorry. Excited to be here. Excited to see everybody and hang out with you, my friend.
Yeah, I figure, we do one. And I wasn't sure when. I don't know. Like I keep forgetting to ask you to do one. So, because I know you can't do my typical days, which are Fridays. So, figured Thursday night would be a great night. I have other things going on over the weekend, and Friday would be a nice little day off for me. So I figured we talk some Halloween stuff, and of course later we'll talk Great Pumpkin. Yeah. So what's the Halloween? I gotta ask you, what's the Halloween plans? I mean, I used to decorate all the time growing up. But now because I'm Adele, my brother's Adele, we haven't really. It just never occurs to us to decorate anymore. Do you still decorate for Halloween?
No, we've kind of gotten away from the Halloween decorating, Halloween festivities. We were really hardcore, probably when my kids were really young, and it's just not really a thing anymore. I've spent most of this Halloween just kind of focusing on some content. Just did Poptober's Fest. We just picked a whole bunch of movies. Did watch and kind of analysis conversations with Baron Ormantag and my daughter. My daughter Tay Tay has been venturing into YouTube little by little. I've been trying to encourage her to do some content. She's be at home more and stuff like that. So it's been fun to just dabble with some different movies, things that I had never done videos on or anything like that. So that's kind of been my Halloween experience this year.
Yeah, it's the same for me. I've been I've been so busy working. I haven't really had time to do even the serial horror chat. I've only done one so far, and I think it might only be one. I mean, I'll see if someone else wants to do one. I have an idea for one, but I did the only one I did was with I had Words of Paradise on, and we talked about From Beyond because we covered last year. We covered what the hell what's the first one called? I can't even remember what the first one's called off the top of my head. But it's the H.P. Lovecraft ones that feature Jeffrey Combs.
Okay.
So From Beyond is basically a story about how a guy comes up with a machine that allows you to awaken your third eye, and then you see things, you see like other aspects of reality that were not meant to see. Like there's actually creatures all around us, and we don't know it, and they don't know it. So it's a terrifying movie and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So. And it's so violent. It is so violent. But yeah, that was the only horror movie. I haven't really watched any horrors this year. So, have you curious if I'm curious what your usual Halloween traditions were. You know,
Well, so the current tradition is I have certain movies I watch every year. I have watched Halloween, American Werewolf in London, and The Thing every year. They're sort of like my foundational films. They're nostalgia for me. They're inspirational for me. I grew up with the explosion of them in my teen years, and then to today. And then it's kind of like a Venn diagram of others that are kind of staples that I'll watch over the course of the year. Now with doing the YouTube thing, it becomes more of a takeover of your time.
mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I usually watch Halloween myself. By the way, Salty, what's up? How you doing?
Yes. Hey, brother.
You need a 16-foot werewolf in the front yard like Steve. Yeah. So one thing I've noticed is that people have been like part of decorating now is putting these giant, terrifying, like
Mm-hmm.
like statues of like skeletons or werewolves or something like that. I walk past, I go for regular walks, and it just terrifies me. Like I'm looking up and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Have you seen some of these like in retail market? You walk into like a Lowe's for this first time and you don't expect these things to be standing there. It just scares the bejesus out of you the first time you see some of
Yeah,
these
you're
things.
like, whoa, you're like, holy crap. So
They've hit the retail market over the last couple of years, and it's crazy how big and detailed they are. I kind of tease my wife. They had sort of a Captain Cutler from Scooby Doo, like the crazy diver suit one, and
oh
it
yeah.
was wicked looking. And I was like, man, I want that. And she's like, no, we're not doing that. We're not putting that thing out there. So no, we don't have anything like that. But we used to, and we used to be the co-hosts of a crazy, crazy Halloween party. My neighbor was an artist by profession. They did ceramics and designs and all sorts of stuff in construction. So we had like a maze, and we had different props. I made like a fake electric chair and a guillotine and all sorts of crazy stuff. So yeah, we did that for several years. That was when the kids were young. So I had to defer to my children with how scarred we made some of their memories. But yeah, those days are kind of past. We don't really have major Halloween traditions otherwise. My wife won't only well, she watched a few. Her big thing we watched was Monster Squad and Abbott and Costello Meets Frankenstein. Those were the two that she kind of picked that she wanted to watch this year. So we
I
got through
still have
those two.
not I still have not seen Monster Squad.
It's a fun little movie. It's sort of like Halloween Goonies with that sort of 80s cheese. That's all. It's not the
Is it
great.
with the classic Universal monsters or no?
Yeah, but not by name, because that probably would have been. I don't think it was a Universal
Lawsuit.
production, but it was.
Yeah.
It's a fun little movie. It's all right. It's got some really. It's a movie. If you watch my review, you'll see us discuss how it feels like it's two movies kind of put together. Like it's darker and edgier in the beginning, and then it becomes more like goofy kid adventure stuff by the time we get to the end. But it's still a pleasant little, family friendly kind of film, especially for its time.
All right, I'll have to add that one to my list. I think it's somewhere on streaming. I'm not sure where.
I think Tubi even has it for free right now, but who knows how long that
Tubi
lasts.
Tubi has been my best friend lately. Like
It's
every time
awesome, isn't it?
I'm looking for an older movie and I find it. I mean, there's commercials, but hey, it's like watching cable, but with I can start at the beginning whenever I want. So uh yeah, I found a movie. I was looking for a movie this weekend. You ever see The Principal with Jim Belushi from
Yeah,
1987?
yeah, yeah.
I watched it again. I was thinking about I was thinking about 80s and 90s, like gang related high school thriller movies. I mean, you have you had The Substitute in 96. I mean, this wasn't a thriller or an action thriller, but Lean on Me with Morgan
You know what I mean?
Freeman.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. And I don't know if you've ever seen Class of 1984 from 1982. It's one of the earliest it's one of the earliest movies where Michael J. Fox plays a supporting character, a high school like a nerdy high school kid that gets bullied by the main villains. It's basically a teacher versus punk bullies movie, and it gets it gets violent. It gets really violent. But it's from 1982. It's an interesting movie to watch. It's a thriller. I forget what the actor's name is.
Tubi's a gold mine. I've been living on there lately with a lot of Hammer horror movies were there this year.
Oh, really?
That was really, yeah. There's we watched Horror Dracula that way. We watched Curse of Frankenstein that way. There was a couple others that were on there. Yeah, Tubi's been great. Tubi's got a lot of great content, and
you ever watch
through very quickly.
Have you ever watched horror specials? Like, you have the special show and they'll showcase a horror movie with a iconic host. Here in Chicago, we have Svengoolie that does that.
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah. I grew up on that. I grew up on our horror host, because I grew up in the Tampa Bay, Florida area, and our horror host was called Dr. Paul Bearer. And I've made reference to him and clips from that. And yes, it's very Svengoolie. It's yeah, they're all over the country, especially back in the day. But yeah, go ahead.
I've seen a lot of scary cheesy films. Like there's one called Demon Dog, the Hound of Hell with Richard Crenna, came out in like 78, 79 or something like that, where there's this demon hound that appears and just starts killing people.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a scary one. It's a really scary one. I'm trying to think of another one. But I saw the most recent time I was taking my car to the shop, and they had the Mummy. They had the Hammer horror Mummy, where Christopher Lee is the Mummy, and I think Peter Cushing. I think Peter Cushing's also in the movie. Um, yeah, that was on. That actually looked. Actually, I didn't watch the whole thing, but it looked pretty good from what I saw. I do need to watch more Hammer horror. I've only seen the first. Was it Curse of Dracula? The first Dracula from 1958. Actually, there's a horror on that one.
Curse of Frankenstein was first, and then Horror of Dracula.
Horror
and,
Dracula.
yeah. Yeah, that's what we did.
Were they both in the
Our special
Curse
pop.
of
We did our
Frankenstein?
final. I think I posted today. Is I posted today or post tomorrow? Of course, we did both. We just kind of put them together, sort of like the origin of the Hammer horror stuff. But yeah, that was Dr. Paul Bear gets all the credit for introducing me that stuff for sure.
Was Cushing and Lee in the Curse of Frankenstein as well?
Yeah, they're in both. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like you have a true Hammer horror movie if you don't have at least one or both of the other.
Yeah, they were definitely amazing. And to be honest, this is kind of what made it so good. Was these productions? They're short. You're in and out in like 80 minutes usually or less. They took it serious. These great British actors. And there's several others that are great. We're just talking about Michael Gough, who plays Alfred in the Batman movies.
Michael Gough. Yeah, he's in it. I forgot about him.
Yeah. So you have these great secondary characters that are they're just hitting home runs with what they get, and the films take themselves serious. It moves the genre forward with a lot of interesting lore that to this day we still enjoy. So, yeah,
Michael Gough's most iconic performance to me as a kid, as a real little kid in the late 80s, who actually saw I saw, like, my parents bought like Batman 89 on VHS, so that I think that's how I watched it first. I don't think I saw it in theaters. And I saw the 60s Batman before I saw the 89 Batman. Like that was on all the time when I was real little. So, but in that VHS, there's a Diet Coke commercial, Batman themed Diet Coke commercial, and Michael Gough is the actor that drinks the Diet Coke, and he's like at the end. And I always think, whenever I see him, I see Michael Gough's thing. I always remember that commercial.
100%. Remember that commercial myself. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you know what I'm talking about.
100%.
That's for the taste of it. Diet Coke.
Yeah.
See, I remember that shit.
Tubi is rock solid, and I have to be honest, I don't know if you have the Fandango Voodoo account or not, but they've just added a free tab as well. So if you have like the digital library through Fandango, whatever, they can kind of get your digital movies. They have a free. So things they were really promoting like Black Phone and stuff on there. They were, I was just nice to see them jump into the foray with that, with some, because that'll generate revenue for them as well. That'll generate commercial ads and stuff like that too. So there were a few kind of good hits in there to pick from. But yeah, no, good stuff. And I do agree. I don't think I said it out loud, Salty. I'm totally with you. The Gorgon. Yeah. It's one of those things where I'm not sure I'll work it in now, because I'm already transitioning into like November stuff. But I definitely need to feel like I need to have more time a year devoted to some Hammer horror, because it's a nice place to escape to, for sure.
The Gorgon, is that
it's obscure? It's Christopher Lee as well. Yeah.
Because I know Medusa, I believe, is a Gorgon. So is it that same type of creature? With the serpent hair, and if you look at them directly, you turn to stone type deal.
Yeah, spoiler alert. No, yeah, Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, definitely. I think it's Terence Fisher as well. You got to go. I didn't pull it up, so I don't know for sure. But Terence Fisher is sort of the rock star director in the middle of all this, keeping it all moving forward with those two superstars. So pretty sure he did it as well. Great cinematography, great sets. They just good stuff. So
all right, I'll have to check. I'll have to check that out. I think
I saw the poster.
It's funny. It's funny the fact that you bring up the Gorgon. Where I first heard the Gorgon, and you should guess, since you know me and what's my favorite TV show of all time is.
Is there a Medusa? Is there a Medusa Trek episode?
There is a Gorgon. There's a Star Trek episode called "And the Children Shall Lead." It's from the 3rd season, and these children are basically being manipulated or controlled by this incorporeal being. So this incorporeal being is played by the judge Melvin Belli from the LA from the LA law scene, not the show LA Law. I mean the actual he was a celebrity lawyer, and he plays this character, this green glowing character called the Gorgon. And his costume looks so stupid and ridiculous, but he was terrifying. So, but it's considered the worst episode of all time. So that's where I first heard the word Gorgon, was from that character. It had nothing to do with Medusa or anything like that.
All right.
Speaking of which, have you watched any of the Halloween episodes yet of original Trek, like Cat's Paw?
I don't know what are designated Halloween episodes. I'm on season 2, episode 3. That's the review that I should be working on. I have not recorded yet, so I've moved along like a snail's pace in season 2. Sorry about that.
All right, I have to catch up. I watched your Amok Time episode or review, so I have to. I think the next one after that is Who Mourns for Adonis, the one that features Apollo, the god of the sun.
Yeah.
All right, I'll have to watch that. So there's 2 episodes. There's the Cat's Paw, and then there's A Wolf in the Fold, which is the one where Scotty thinks they think Scotty's a serial killer. But let's just say Jack the Ripper is an incorporeal being that survived into the 23rd century, played by Piglet. The actor that played Piglet, the actor that voice acted Piglet. So, yeah. It's and I think they're both Robert Bloch written episodes too. The guy that wrote Psycho novel.
Yeah, that'd be a plus. Look forward to that. Interesting.
Yeah. So, original Trek always welcome. I have to do something again with that. So, I figure we're about 20 minutes in. Want to talk about It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown?
Hey, yeah, whatever you want to do, man. We could drive around however you want, man. I'm good.
So I figured since we did Charlie Brown Christmas. Pumpkin. Oh yeah. It's like, I think I knew about that one. I knew about that one before I knew about Charlie Brown Christmas. Like that was the one that my dad really liked. Now this came out. What's funny is It's a Great Pumpkin came out the same time as a certain sci-fi show that we might have just mentioned, season 1 of a certain sci-fi show, because it was October, I believe, of 1966. And they because of how good Charlie Brown Christmas was, how successful it was, they wanted another one, but they wanted one for the Halloween season. And well, they Schultz is like, I don't know if I have anything that's worth it. But then he forgets that he wrote about the Great Pumpkin and like some of his comic strips from like I think early 60s. Yep. So in that version, Linus being like a real little kid, I think in the specials he's like 6 or 7, but I think in the comics he's even younger. And so he gets Halloween and Christmas mixed up, and he kind of comes up with his own little person to believe in, and it's the Great Pumpkin. Yeah. And then they're all telling him, like in the beginning, they're like, what are you doing? They're like, what are you doing? He doesn't exist. And he's like, well, you think Santa Claus exists? And it's a shame because I was a little kid when I saw that, and I didn't get the hint. I didn't get the hint that Santa didn't exist at the time. So I was a dumb kid. What can I say?
Trust me, we were all with you. There was no one who was like catching on based on Charlie Brown, what they were saying about Santa, to be perfectly honest. No one was catching on. So these were again, we talked about it briefly. I know you and I talked about the Christmas special. And it's like, these are event television moments for us as children. Like this was on one time. There was not like, oh, it could turn on streaming. You could pop your DVD in, your VH. No, none of that was existing when young Pops was an impressionable young lad in elementary school. It's like, nope, this is Saturday at 8. You better be home in front of the TV. That's it. It's one night only. Everyone watched it. Everyone. And when this debuted, it was like half of society watched this thing. It became a phenomenon. So Peanuts was a thing that's kind of hard to report. I know. Being young blows my mind. Yeah, it's funny. I should send you pictures of on the walls and stuff. It'd be kind of funny. I should share more photos for the members. I share a lot of stuff for the members behind the scenes. But yeah, no, yeah. I wonder where if I have it. There's a picture of me laying on like the 70 on my elbows on the 70s beanbag, watching TV. You can see on the TV in the front, in the background. I think I'm pretty sure it's Frosty the Snowman on the TV. It's really
Frosty.
great.
Oh, so, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So like
the
six,
Rankin,
maybe five. Yeah.
The Rankin Bass. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. Animated cartoon.
I haven't watched those in years. I haven't watched those those specials. Yeah. I know.
Every year we watch them all. It's a marathon for us for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. When it came to, so I used to, very different for me. Cause, when I was, when I was, coming of age, becoming aware of, entertainment, all that, the VHS tapes have been around for a while. So, we used to rent stuff all the time, and a lot of times things were out. Like I wanted to rent something, and you take the box to the front to the counter. You'd say, "Hey, is this as a number so and so and so there?" And then they go to the back and look and see if they had it. And they would come back and they would say they would either bring it or they would come back empty-handed and say, "Oh, nope, it's out. It's out. Someone else rented it." The Charlie Brown stuff was never out. So whenever I rented it, whenever I wanted a Charlie Brown thing, it was always there. Maybe because nobody liked it. Maybe because nobody liked Charlie Brown except me. But my dad told me he watched this when he was a kid. Like he was 10 when this one came out. And he told me when I was little that he had fond memories of this one. And he actually watched this one with me a few times. He's like telling me all about, he told me, he's like, tell me about the Red Baron. I'm like, who's the Red Baron? He's like, oh, he's the guy that Snoopy fights. I'm like, really? I'm like Red Baron. And I look, then years later, I'm looking up like who the Red Baron is. I watched a video about him, and then I'm like, oh wow, this guy was crazy. This guy he had earned the respect of his enemy.
Yeah, he was legit.
Yeah, and some of the best characters that have been ever made, especially in anime, have been inspired from the Red Baron. In this case of Gundam Char Aznavour. You've seen Gundam, I believe, so you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so I'm picking that up actually. Yep.
How far have you gotten in Gundam, by the way? I have to ask.
Not far enough. If you ask Iron
have you finished the first series, the original Mobile Gundam?
I don't know. There's so much. So for me, the problem is there's so much of it. I know I love the movie where they put the several episodes together and it's the one feature film basically.
There's three.
There's three. Yeah. So I have not finished 2. I watched part of 2 and then I got interrupted and then other stuff happened. So I got to go back and finish watching 2. And then, so yeah. But did you know that the whole Snoopy Red Baron thing, there's an actual song? Like a record,
I think so. Yeah,
we had a 45 record. So again, as a little kid, like 5 years old, go put the record on. I'm singing Snoopy and the Red Baron. It was a thing. It's such a strange phenomenon in hindsight. That was a thing, and a big thing.
And the thing was, they're like, I was looking up. I'm like, why did they include this particular one in the special? And because they were trying to think of ideas, thinking of what to borrow from the source, obviously. And they said, well, Snoopy's outfit looks like a costume, and in a way, kind of, I guess you could say it is. I'll be honest, I liked the animation. Even when I was a kid, I liked the animation where he's pretending to sneak across France in order to get to safety after he gets shot down by they use perspective. They didn't just draw flat. They used actual linear. I don't know if it's linear, but they used perspective. So they gave it a 3D look to it. So and it's just I don't know, it just I just I couldn't get my even to this day, even yesterday when I was watching it again for the umpteenth time, I couldn't get my eyes off the screen when Snoopy's, you see his silhouette sneaking across France. So
Yeah, it's
and
one
then
of my favorite parts.
and then he sneaks into a chateau, and the chateau ends up being the Halloween party that they have. So um yeah,
So yeah, they were trying to, after the success of Christmas, they went through the strips and were trying to come up with sequences they want to include, and it was obviously the football, Lucy pulling away the football, and it was
the
Snoopy
football.
and the Red Baron stuff, the Ace Fighter. So there was a couple of, and then when they kind of, I forget who it was. There was one of the co-creators that were like, what about this Great Pumpkin thing? And that's when Schultz was like, yeah, okay, let's play with that idea a little bit. And that's kind of how things kind of come together. So
Yeah, so this was a very Linus centric special. I mean, Charlie Brown was in it, so like, he had, he got insulted, he got, duped into doing something dumb, and he got a rock. Not one
got a
rock,
rock.
he got
three
three
times.
rocks. What's funny was I was reading today. Apparently, Lee Mendelson, the main producer of the specials, said he's reading the script and he's like Charles, like, are you sure you want to do this? This is kind of cruel to your character. And he's like, yeah.
But not once. I want to do it 3 times. And then what happened? What was the reaction? Did you read what the reaction was from the public?
What was the reaction?
Everybody started mailing candy for poor Charlie. Like CBS got inundated with people mailing in candy.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Isn't that great? That was awesome. That was like a huge story. And it was a big phenomenon. And the whole I got a rock thing become like a meme. Before there were memes like that. It was like, because it was just like a thing people would say. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Pops, this episode aired against Star Trek.
Yeah, it did.
This was on at the same hour as Star Trek on prime 100%. Time. So I'm trying to remember October 27th. What episode was that? I think it was Mary. I think the episode was Mary that aired on October 27th, 1966. So interesting. And like Star Trek, like the first episode, this special, it's Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown aired one day earlier in Canada. Freaking Canada. What's with Canada in the 60s getting stuff before us? I don't know.
Okay, Miri. I have seen Miri. Miri was the season 1. That's the Kim Darby episode. Yep.
Yeah, that's the Kim Darby, Michael J. Pollard episode, bonk bonk on the head, Pops, you're a grup. Pops.
Got it.
So it was I'll be honest, the idea behind that episode was interesting, but but kids, especially adults playing kids in the 60s, it's kind of rough. So I liked her excuse. I like Lucy's excuse when she pulls the thing back. So to set this up, so Charlie Brown's not an idiot. At least he's trying not to be an idiot. He's like, I know what you're gonna do. She's like, come on, kick my football. And he's like, I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna pull the thing back, and I'm gonna fly up and kill myself. I'm gonna fly up, land, and kill myself. And she's like, no, I won't do it. See, I have here's a document promising that I will not pull the ball away. And he's like, oh my gosh, she actually signed it. I can't lose. I can't go wrong. And then of course he does the thing, tries to run. He's like, I'm going to kick that ball straight to the moon. And then and they didn't use the typical, whenever somebody falls and lands on the ground, you hear that same particular sound effect. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
Yep,
they didn't actually use that. They actually used just a thump for this one.
Yeah.
So, and what her excuse was? I didn't have it notarized. Yeah, there you go.
Well, it's a notarized Charlie Brown.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. This
was a regular gag in the comic strips, and it was great to see it included. and it still kind of holds up now. Even though I know the silliness of the gags not even relevant to the story, I could just kind of, because we've already watched this twice, so I don't want to say I wasn't paying attention, but I'm like doing other stuff and like, oh, look up the football scene. Oh, look up. Oh, it's the Snoopy scene. Oh, look. So like I just know the cues. And sadly for poor Linus, his journey to the Great Pumpkin delay is sort of like my least, I want to say the least interesting, but it's sort of like the least magnanimous part of the episode in a lot of ways. But boy, it's a fun little special.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Linus was just like, hey, I believe in the Great Pumpkin. He's like he's writing letters to the Great Pumpkin, and everybody's like, you're crazy. What's the matter? Like, what's the matter with you? And he stays steadfast in his belief. It's like trying to change someone's mind about their faith, about belief, and all that. You can't do it. You just can't do it. Even when the Great Pumpkin doesn't show up and it's Snoopy instead. He's still, when Charlie Brown says at the very end, "Oh, we believe in, I've done stupid things." He's like, "What do you mean stupid?" He's like, "The Great Pumpkin will come next year. I know he will."
Yeah. I didn't have the best pumpkin patch. You obviously will come next year, Charlie Brown. You'll see.
You'll
There'll
see.
be presents for everybody. You'll see.
You'll see. Yeah. I thought that, I mean, between that and seeing the, seeing the, I think the first time I've ever seen someone bob for apples was in this episode. And I've never bobbed for apples. My folks never really let me do it. I did it once at church. It was on Halloween. My church used to do All Hallows Eve, and we would dress up as saints. And then of course we would say like some facts about the saints, and then the audience would guess which saint it was. The congregation like knew every saint, so we could never stump them. So,
right.
But yeah, it was almost like a pseudo Halloween, All Hallows Eve, celebration. And they actually did have, bobbing for apples and all that stuff. So,
let's say hello to Gadfly popped in here. So hello to you, my friend.
How you doing? Yeah, so I figure, I mean, I think I personally think this was a classic. I really enjoyed watching this again. I hope I didn't force you to.
I watch this every year. We have like a. I don't think I have it. I don't even think we have it digitally. I think we own like the box set of the Peanuts ones, and it's like, it's like a staple. And there wasn't even like a hesitation when I said, let's put this on. Like we watch it all the time. So when the kids are here, we'd watch it again if the kids were going to be here. During this last week, but they got their own trick-or-treating nonsense to get to. So
I personally think 60s Peanuts, 60s Charlie Brown is peak. I mean, you have the Vince Guaraldi soundtracks. I mean, I liked, I don't know if you noticed, I like this version, this specials version of the Linus and Lucy theme. And so instead of just hearing the piano version of it, you actually there's like I think a flute accompaniment. So like da 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 do 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 do, and then they would do it every time, there was like a pause or something, like a bar pause or something in the music. And that was in this particular one. So trying to remember what else was featured. Oh, I liked how this one ended. So Lucy's being mean. She's mean to everybody. Like she pulls the football from Charlie Brown. She's mean to Linus. I like how in the beginning, like they're grabbing a pumpkin, he's rolling it, and she just takes the knife out like Michael Myers. And this is years before Halloween came out, and just stabs it like a crazy person, and then opens it up and starts cleaning it out. He's like, "Oh, you didn't tell me you were going to kill it. You didn't tell me you were going to kill it." Yeah, and
then they bookend that though with her at the end where he's still in the pumpkin patch and he's all sad and whatever. He's been humiliated by everybody else. And she comes and brings him a little blanket, still being a decent sister at the end of the day.
Yes, that's what I love that. I thought that was
awesome.
I thought that was great. It was like, okay, she really does love him, care about him and all that. I thought that was a wonderful touch. So
And my mother-in-law is the least interested of the family in watching movies with me. She usually just complains in some way, shape, or form about most entertainment if it's not Sean Connery or one of those, hotties from back in the day that she liked. But I
Also,
kid you, anytime the music was playing, you could see her feet tapping, you could see her shoulders moving. It's timeless, man.
it is.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what kind of curmudgeon you may be. This stuff is that good. So
Everybody knows it.
100%.
Everybody's heard it in some form, whether you've seen it or if you've watched TV. Like I was driving past the MetLife building, one of the there's a MetLife building here in Chicago, and I couldn't help but think of all the when they had the Peanuts license, and they always had when they were selling their, I think it's insurance or something, they always had the Peanuts gang in their commercials. So I don't know. It was what's funny was seeing that building reminded me to watch this yesterday, and so I don't think I have a physical copy. I know I have a digital copy, but I have an Apple account, and all the Peanut specials are on Apple. So on Apple TV, so I put on Apple TV, watched it, and then I was like, you know what? I didn't fall asleep yet, but I was like looking for something else to watch on Apple TV. And I finally got around to watching the Tetris movie, and I didn't finish it. I only got halfway through it. So
I like the Tetris movie. It was actually pretty solid, and it is really good nostalgia. It was really well done. That one and the Amazon Prime Michael Jordan shoe story called Air, they both have a nice recapturing of their time. They did a really good job of that. All of that felt legit to its time. I'm not going to try to get into the critiques of the stories. I'm not going to even pretend to be able to, wax about the details of the stories and how legit and accurate it might be. But as far as the way it felt, the office, the designs, the suits, just everything about it was really, really solid. Really, really solid.
I felt like I was watching Stranger Things because of the style of music and the fact that there were Russians, there was Soviet Union.
Yeah. Atomic Blonde does it to me too. Atomic Blonde feels the same way. I'm like, oh wait, I'm there. It's what it actually felt like. This is really pretty good, pretty solid. So, do you have a physical copy of the Charlie Brown Christmas? You don't
No.
have.
I have a physical copy of the they call it the Snoopy collection. It's the 4 feature films. So Boy Named Charlie Brown, Snoopy Come Home, Race for Your Life, Charlie Brown, and Bon Voyage, Charlie Brown.
Gotcha.
Peanuts movie does not count.
I understand. I understand. TV specials. Okay.
Well,
all you folks out there, you got to get on your super chat so he can buy himself physical copies of these wonderful, glorious classics.
Yeah, I do want to pick. I do have to pick up Charlie Brown Christmas and It's a Great Pumpkin. So the one that came on between that I really like, I also really like, is Charlie Brown's All Stars. That came out earlier in '66, and that's the baseball one. That's the one with every baseball gag. And they're like, you want to know how we'll win, Charlie Brown? Don't show up.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I think the opening of that one, and now people make memes and short videos of that where they're throwing the ball in the air and they're running through the house to catch it. Well, that's what Charlie Brown was trying to do in the beginning of that one. Like, someone hits the ball, he's the pitcher. Someone hits the fly ball, he's running. He goes into a house, goes to the second floor, tries to get sticks his head out the window with his glove, realizes it's going a different direction, goes down, goes and runs back out, and then he gets underneath the ball, and the ball just bounces off of his glove and falls on the ground, and everyone's like, you idiot. And he goes through like this crazy humiliation ritual, and it's so awful but so funny and stuff. And my dad was a big baseball fan, so it was another one that he really liked. And I'll be honest, like I said, peak Charlie Brown was in the '60s, and it ended perfectly with A Boy Named Charlie Brown in late 1969.
Yeah,
you've seen that one, right? That's a spelling. That's the one where he goes to spelling bee. Linus gives him his blanket. Linus has withdrawal symptoms because he gave away his blanket, so that him and Snoopy have to go after him. Snoopy pretends to play hockey. Charlie Brown is studying for the spelling bee, but he's spelling all these really difficult words except for one, and it's the one that he should have known the most, and he didn't get it. So, yeah. And apparently they had spelling bees on TV. I mean, you had the old tube television, and the other kids are watching the spelling bee live. So yeah.
I kind of had remembered. I don't remember watching spelling bees on TV, but I do remember people talking about spelling bees being on TV. So maybe it was something that was happening, and I was a little too young to be interested. So maybe it was. I'm a contemporary of it still existing, but not necessarily old enough to partake or know about it. Never really a great speller, and I still struggle a lot, to be honest. I don't do well. I definitely don't do well under the spotlight like that. So I don't like. I would not have. I would seem like a really good person for the phone a friend category on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but
I
not
remember that
necessarily the guy in the seat. I'd probably panic and have.
hot seat.
Yeah, it would just my brain doesn't work like that. I would just like short circuit and wouldn't remember something. It would be obvious. It would be something really, really obvious, and I'd short circuit, and I couldn't live with myself. But yeah,
Yeah, I used to. That movie was the reason why I used to like take spelling bees seriously and win them in my class. I was in a small class. I wasn't in fourth grade. I was only in a class of like 20. So, so yeah, I was able to win a whole bunch of spelling bees, and then we would compete against other schools like when I was in like fifth through eighth grade. So I always participated in them. Now because of the internet and because of social media, I'm a terrible. I can't spell now. I can't remember how to spell anything. So like I'm making spelling errors all the time now. So that went the way of that went the way of the dodo. So, but yeah, I mean Peanuts. I mean the Peanut specials, especially those the first two feature films, Snoopy Come Home and A Boy Named Charlie Brown, have been really really they've been a part of my childhood, even though they're I mean that's more my parents generate. Well, my parents were kind of my dad. My parent, yeah, it was my parent. It was those boomers. Those little kids who were voicing the Peanuts characters back then. They're boomers. They
hmm
probably uh, they probably sign their name when they leave a post on social media. That's how old they are. So, but the timelessness of it. I mean, I was a kid in the late '80s, '90s, and I was watching that stuff, and that stuff was already 20 over 15 to 20 years old, and it just didn't feel like it was old. Like I felt like I was watching something contemporary. I was surprised to find out later on how old those movies actually were. Like I didn't realize Boy Named Charlie Brown came out in the '60s. So yeah, when I was a kid, so I was surprised.
Yeah, the Peanut stuff definitely felt contemporary to everything else going on. It didn't feel like it was from the past. But again, the Rankin and Bass was the same way. All the Rankin and Bass type stuff, all the
Yeah.
holiday stuff from it didn't matter if it was Easter, Christmas, whatever, all of it felt contemporary. And I think it's because of the pop culture stuff and how Gen X we embrace entertainment and escapism in a different way. And it was also the explosion of entertainment and technology, and it made all of that stuff as a great surrogate for the fact that a lot of us were just latchkey kids left at home alone, and we were being raised on a TV, and then the VCRs and everything else that
Hmm.
came with it. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, latchkey kid. That's how I watched a lot of my dad's movies. My dad bought a lot of movies, a lot of VHS movies, and when he ran out of space, he'd put them in bins and put them underneath the stairs in our house in the basement. And I found them one day because I was just like I was bored, and I was opening a box and I saw a whole bunch of movies. I'm like, holy crap, what's this about? Death Wish 2, Escape from New York, Halloween, and then Carrie and a whole bunch of other ones. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was just that was the result of me being a latchkey kid from sixth grade to eighth grade, or actually sixth grade to high school, actually. So, but yeah, I watched some great horror, and then thanks to Spenguli, I watch even more great horror. So, hopefully, I get some more horror watching before next week or something. So, figure this would be a great way to cap off the stream. So, thanks, Pops. Any final thoughts on the season and Charlie Brown?
I think Charlie Brown's as a staple. It needs to be. It's just, especially if nothing else, the Thanksgiving, Christmas. I agree with you about All Star and some of the Snoopy stuff and some of the stuff that can feel great other times of the year. But it seems like those two are the pinnacle of this type of animation and way to draw everybody together for a nice family time. For me, I enjoyed the Poptoberfest and the revisiting stuff, especially since I kind of did a different strategy. So it wasn't me going solo all the time. It was me doing stuff with other folks. And then to find out that this stuff happened with my daughter. So if you have checked out some of the videos on the channel, it is fun to kind of wax with this with one of my kids. I didn't expect that to be part of my YouTube journey. Her take on things and her nodding when I would say things like, well, there was no way I was going to get mom to go see this, right? And she's just laughing because, like, yeah, I was talking about like what the new Nosferatu or something. So it was a different thing, and it made this a different kind of October Halloween type season than I expected. And I'm interested to see how the rest of the year will unfold for that, because we kind of have stuff lined up for November, and then obviously Christmas is even a bigger deal than you could even imagine. So. But no, I enjoyed getting together with you again, man, and chatting up a little bit about stuff. And I love to hear about, those bins of VHS tapes, because we've talked about it every single time, I think, all this day. For us, it was a little different. I think I've talked to you about it or said before. It's like it was my uncle who was he'd been in Korea, and he came back with like a Betamax player. So all of these tapes have 3 to 4 movies taped on them. So I would volunteer to watch their kids. I'd watch my cousins. And so they go out on a date, and I'd be sitting there throwing in all sorts of movies I shouldn't have been watching. And that was like my gateway into a whole bunch of stuff. And then the VHS boom is phenomenal. And I had a very close friend's mom that would just rent movies for us. It was a way to entertain us. So our moms and families were happy that we were out of their houses. And this lady didn't mind. She probably just sat there decompressing from life and then just entertained us by popping VHS tapes in. So yeah, a different gateway to get there, but also similar nostalgia moments. Like, oh, I'll never forget this VHS going in for the first, I'll never forget watching. Yeah. So that's kind of stuff. So it's great to wax about that kind of stuff, my friend.
Yeah, the thing about horror is just like, I mean, I'm not so interested in it now as much as before, but when I was younger, like, there would be this like this fun anxiety going into the movie. Like, how's this movie going to scare me? What messed up? What disturbing things am I going to see? Or what kind of jump scares is there going to be? Is this going to happen? So yeah, that was always in the back of my mind whenever I, put on a new horror movie to see if it'll do the trick. And usually movies from the 70s and 80s will do the trick. 90s movies, not nearly as much. So
by the time we got to the 90s, we had so much comedy interjected, right? Because Scream came along and changed the genre so much. It spawned so much time and money being spent around Kevin Williamson projects. Yeah. So
yeah, I've seen the first Scream, and I remember all the commercials for the other Screams, and then I know What You Did Last Summer was another one, and now there's like 10 million Screams or something now.
Yeah, there's like 7 or 8. But I will say this: I'm not a fan of the Final Destination franchise, but I had a reliable source tell me the new one was good, and I was like, oh, come on. And I watched all the others, so 5 of them in a row.
You didn't like the first one either?
First one's very mid to me. It's like maybe a 5 to 6 out of 10. I mean, it's just like a mid movie for me. It's like, fine, I get it. And then there's just like nice disaster scenes, and then there's just not really good at all. And then the new one,
bad decisions, yeah.
But the new one, Final Destination Bloodlines, I thought was extremely solid. They kind of roped in the mythology differently. They tied it more to family. It was surprisingly really good and far superior to any other film in the franchise. I was blown away.
And this
movie, the new one's called Final Destination Bloodlines. It's on Max, I think. I don't know if it's anywhere else, but
okay. And this just came out like recently.
I think it was in March, this year. And since movies aren't very good this year, it tends to kind of be hovering still on my top 10 list. So if I had to make a top 10 list right now, it would still be there, because there's just most movies are not very good. So it actually made me leave feeling pretty good about it. So if I had to recommend a new movie, that would be good. Nosferatu from last year was excellent. by the way.
Yeah, I liked it. I actually liked it. I was kind of disappointed in the ending, and then a mutual friend, our friend Nosferatu, the
Mm-hmm.
vampire, told
Mm-hmm.
me that's how it ends. That's
Yeah,
how it
19.
ends. That's how
Yeah,
the original ends. It
yeah,
ends with him sleeping with
yeah.
what's her name?
Yeah, the trick to killing the vampire was to have her lure them in bed and keep him there until the sun rises, and it would cook him, and that's exactly how they end. And the 1922 version is in public domain. I actually got both versions right and all the other stuff because it's hard to find them with the right music. So I got the original German version and the one with the English that you can actually. So I got them for posterity's sakes to watch
Did
them
you
because it is fine to watch them. They're really
did you
good.
see the Klaus Kinski one from the 70s?
I have seen it. I have not recently. I we were discussing this Nosferatu because that'll be my final video for October. Is this Nosferatu one? And I made a comment about I have not watched that movie since I was in college, so I do need to give old Klaus one more go. Not a huge fan of the old Klaus Kinski as much as the old Nos is, but I will be more than happy to give it another fair watch for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do have a question before I go into before I start promoting my stuff. I was going to ask, when's the next? What's your story?
You know, it's funny you say that. I've been actually jotting down some notes about trying to rekindle that for 2026. The biggest problem that I ran into with 2025 was how much of my work, my day job schedule was being juggled and changed. It was messing up my evenings to record, which is in contradiction to most people's schedules. I have farm responsibilities with the the business and stuff that we own, so it's hard to have weekends free. So I want to bring Watch Your Story back, but I also got to make sure that I don't get out ahead of myself where I can't do it proper. So I've been making some notes of ideas of them bring people in, figure out maybe I should start recording in December to get ahead and try to focus on how about if I could just focus on getting 2 a month done. So we'll see. I really want to bring it back. It was one of the things I really enjoyed the most of the last couple of years was doing those. It's just a logistics issue at this point of bringing it back. And same thing with same thing with a lot of comic book talk and stuff like that. I still read a lot of comic books, but just doing reviews and just doing chitter chatter about them just become tedious and difficult. It wasn't that I don't read comics anymore. It's just like fit it in, do this, do that. So that was kind of where it's at.
So I went to I went to Portland a few months ago. Met our mutual friend Salty for the first time in person, and he gave me a few comics.
Cool.
He gave me a Transformers one, but the one that everybody knows he gave me Batman Year One.
Oh, the classic Frank Miller book. Fantastic.
Yep. So yeah, we went to the Comic-Con there, and I got a whole bunch of comics that I need to read right now. So
Is that the new Transformers, or is that something retro?
I don't know. I think it's retro. I don't remember.
Okay.
If Salty's here, if Salty's still here, he'll say.
Cool.
But yeah, I bought a comic called Port of Earth that he was a fan of. One called Eclipse and one called Nailbiter. So
yeah, I've heard of Eclipse and Nailbiter. I've not read those, but I've heard good things about both.
Yeah. So I'm not the biggest comic book reader, so I still have a whole bunch of comics on my shelf that I need to read. So yeah, I got to get on that. So, but I'm still reading Wheel of Time right now. I have 5 books left. So
wow, that's crazy. Yeah, that's a
yeah.
lot.
And I said I was going to finish. I said I was going to finish it this year, but the story drags for me so much. So,
Gotcha.
but that's just me. A lot of people love the story. Yeah. So Pops, what else is on your docket?
Well, I have a lot of TV stuff. I'm actually enjoying Tulsa King. Mayor of Kingstown's back, so I'm going to do some rewatch of the originals 3 seasons before I get into season 4. Probably do some videos accordingly. I will get through some Star Trek stuff. It's a little slow for me. Like for me, it's not as urgent as it was to get through. Like I really set a lofty goal of, hey, I got to get through season 1, like pound it out. And it's one of the things I want to get through season 2. So I'm trying to hope that I can at least get back on target of doing at least 2 to 3 a month to get through, episode watches and that. Because I think it's really fun to catch up to everybody else's Trek love, get a different perspective. I do enjoy doing those. Same thing with Batman animated series. I did a couple in season 2, or yeah, I think it's season 2 that I was in, and just didn't record them. So I watch a lot of that, but I had good response from, talking about those episodes as well, and they bring me joy. So I like doing things that kind of make me happy, and not because there's a lot of stuff I'll watch and it's just kind of mid or generic or mediocre, and I am not doing a video or anything because I'm bored with it. I'm bored with the mid experience, and that's kind of where a lot of things land. So
Yeah, that's why I have not been. That's why I've not been so eager to watch new stuff, because a lot of the time it just falls short of the things that I like in a show. So
so I've been a little reluctant to do some of that as much as I was aggressively doing it before, and just kind of do what I enjoy doing. Like I said, scheduling issues in the personal life made it a little trickier, and I think this is part of the YouTuber journey. Is you have to learn how to evolve with that. Evolve that life is life, and unless you are somehow the right type of person for podcasting or whatever, it probably won't become your full-time job, and you have to figure out how to manage it as a nice little fun little hobby and side hustle to do. And it is just that, for sure.
Yeah, I haven't had a whole lot of time to like do videos, or even the serial horror stuff. Like I barely did any of these chilporials lately, so I know how it is because of my job, and the time that I do have, I usually use it towards sleeping or something. So but yeah, so for me, so I'm actually going to be on another channel on Saturday. I've always wanted to be part of this Star Trek podcast that our mutual friend Pacific 414 started. So I got the invite, and he asked me what episode do you want to do? So I had to think about this. I'm like, you know what? I was thinking original series, but then I'm like, I always talk about the original series. I was like, you know what? Let's change it up. Next generation. What is my favorite Next Generation episode? It's not one episode. It's a two-parter. It's called Chain of Command. So on Saturday, 7 p.m. Central, will be me, Mike, Pacific 414, and I think Baron Norman Tag. I think. Three
usually
of us.
Cash Money's usually there too.
And Cash. We're going to be talking about Chain of Command. So, Pops, how many fingers am I holding up?
Well, it just keeps moving from 345. So I'm excited, man. That's good. That's great to hear. I can't get my schedule to align with theirs, but it's fun to know that our Trek brothers and sisters of yours are out there doing it. So that's great to hear, man. You belong there for sure.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. And then Sunday I'm doing another chilporial with another person I've been meaning to have on for a while. The Questioners. He's named after Wheel of Time faction, like the White Cloaks, except the Questioners are more brutal. And he's a big Wheel of Time fan. He's a big fantasy fan. And he's going to tell me why all of my issues with Wheel of Time are misguided. So look forward to that. So that's what I'm going to be doing in the next few days. So, all right. So Pops, thanks for doing this. I know we definitely have to do more stuff. We got to do some more Star Trek related stuff, or no, some other movie related stuff. So like our Starman stream, I would do if I was able to get home in time, but I haven't been able to get home in time. But our Starman stream was excellent. Me, you, and Mr. Troy Pasel. I gotta get him on. One.
He's killing it, man. You got to get him on for sure. He's doing great stuff daily. He's just doing a lot of great stuff. And I gotta be honest, man. Our talk hard. We talked the Trek that you were on with me, man. It's still gold. It's still gold for me and the channel. I've made shorts from it, and they're just still like liquid gold for like a commercial for that episode. So people want to talk Trek, man. I get it. Some good stuff. And you're always fun, man. You're always fun to hang out with for sure. So maybe now that our schedules can align better, at least for these like 1 hour, pop in, pop out kind of thing for sure.
All right. Yeah, I totally agree. I really enjoyed doing the Genesis trilogy and all that. That never gets old. That's always, Wrath of Khan's my favorite film. of all time, and that's never going to change. So yeah, I always enjoy talking about those. So all right, Pops, everybody, whoever's still here, thanks for being here. Don't forget to subscribe to Pops, follow him on X, and if you know, follow me on X as well, at Nerdporial Life. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And if you feeling extra generous, there's always a super thanks, All right. All right, everybody. Take care. Stay safe. Stay Nerdporial. Be good to each other.